trusted enough to have a survivor disclose to you, then the best thing you can do is listen. Let them speak, let them tell their story. There's so much power in getting their truth out.
I think that's something that we always have to reteach people, to let the survivor get to tell the narrative.
Welcome to each of you to the Shadow event, where 8 CNU students have found their own voice and have an amazing courage to share their story with you. It is their turn to speak out.
Shadow event is survivors giving their own testimony about their experiences and make something powerful out of that for other people.
We say that all survivors to heal need to go through the journey of fear to freedom, and our job is to make sure they don't walk it alone. So being able to tell your story to someone with compassion, who listens, who cares, who supports you, and who encourages can make all the difference in the world and really make you go from surviving to thriving.
This event is imperative to our campus because sexual assault affects so many people. According to the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, a new sexual assault occurs every 73 seconds.
You know, we've been talking about sexual assault and sexual violence on college campus for years, but the numbers still keep going up. The numbers of a woman and or a man or a transgender being assaulted or attempted assault are so much higher on a college campus.
Pretty soon after that, he was touching me and trying to undress me, and I kept pushing his hands away and telling him to stop. He got aggressive, and I felt like I couldn't move.
It's not okay to not step in when someone's had too much to drink. It's not okay to hear guys saying things that they shouldn't say about other girls or talking in a manner that is harmful. And it's about making them understand what an assault victim goes through. And the Shadow event is the perfect example of educating the students on what it means to be assaulted and what the different types are, because they're all different. Part of our program that we do on college campus, besides the Shadow event, is the students actually pack what we call aftercare and eye care kits for survivors that go have the perk exam and need clothing and toiletries at the hospital. They also pack the eye care kit, which is something we give to a survivor who didn't need the perk exam or maybe waited to come forward, but they still need the same comfort and healing tools that are in the kits. I have been involved with Fear to Freedom for years, and I go to the events and I see the students and they want to change. They want to make the world a better place. So if we can change the way they think about it, the way they talk about it, the way they support each other when they're younger, that's going to go through into when they're adults and when they're in the world working. Changing the conversation and the culture.
And it took me months to even be able to tell my mom about what happened because I was afraid that other people would react the same way. When I finally did tell her, she asked me if I had been drinking. And while logically I knew she didn't blame me, it was hard to truly convince myself of that. I spent a lot of time blaming myself and feeling ashamed. It took me a very long time to convince myself that it wasn't my fault.
Well, my own journey from fear to freedom was really the basis of why I started Fear to Freedom.
As most of you know, my own journey began at 25 years old in 1975 when I was violently raped at gunpoint by a huge man that had seen my television talk show in Richmond, Virginia that I had done.
Rosemary's Guest Book. A little corny now as I look back, but it was a far cry from Oprah, but I loved it, and I did a show on sexual assault.
Memory you ignore, but you can't erase.
In the beginning, you have such a victim mentality, and it deals with such shame and such guilt that you carry. I think it's the only crime that it is the person that has been wounded that carries that extreme guilt and shame. And it's really a journey to be able to finally find yourself again.
Girl, I believe you. Are you losing your mind thinking what will it take to make somebody listen to you?
For most every one of these young women, this is the first time they've told their story. And secrecy is the greatest enemy of healing.
When I finally made new friends, the amount of love and support I received from them blew me away and helped me begin my healing process.
The audience has a stack of colors, red, blue, green, and as they tell their story, they have a moment to write a note to that person if their story has touched them. And we put them together in jars, and we give them to the survivors.
Well, the first time I ever got to share my story publicly was at Shadow Event 2 years ago. But then when I read the notes of the people who had similar stories to mine, I felt really grateful that I was able to share that with someone because they weren't strong enough to tell theirs yet. I have survivors come up to me every day saying, I'm really glad that you're able to speak so proudly about it because now I feel confident and more comfortable about what happened to me.
I am more than a survivor. I'm an advocate, I'm a leader, I'm a friend, and I'm a hard worker. I am more than my assault, and I refuse to let it define me.
So often I will tell individuals when they ask, what do I do when somebody tells me that they've been sexually assaulted? And I said the very most important thing to do is listen, to hear their story, to not interrupt it, and then to not try to fix it, to not try to tell them what to do, but to encourage them that you will walk with them, and that if they need you, that you will be by their side. And the most important thing they can do in that listening is to believe them. They need someone to believe that their story is true.
And I can truly say today that what was meant for evil has been used for good in my life, and the greatest gift in my life has been walking alongside others that are wounded by abuse. Thank you for showing your support and your compassion. Thank you very much.